So observe very carefully here. Projectile motion is actually the simplest concept which already we people have some idea. So how many of you know free fall case? Do you all remember the free fall case which we have been formed the formulas also modified the formulas and we made the shortcuts for solving the numericals and all? Everyone? Free fall.
Yes, sir.
When the ball is falling freely like this, then we can say we all knows that. What is the initial velocity, everybody? Initial velocity of the body is
Zero.
and before touching the ground, final velocity is what? Maximum.
Maximum.
And when the body is coming downwards, G value is positive or negative, we have taken. G value is positive. Understanding? So that is what we all know that free fall case. Means in the sense of this ball is falling under the gravity. Am I right or not? Everybody? Falling
Yes, sir.
under the gravity, only falling under the gravity alone, no other force is acting. That is what we used to call as, what we used to say, everyone? We used to call as free fall. Am I right or wrong? Same way, here projectile means when a body moves under the influence of a gravity, it moves along a vertical straight line. If there is no kind of like horizontal movement, then that is what we used to call as projectile motion. I will explain it, just understand. So when a body moves under the influence of gravity, under the influence of what, everybody? Under the influence of gravity. That is what we used to say projectile motion. So for example, let us take some house, you all of you observe. So let me consider this is what your house and this is what is our ground. Everybody clear? What is projectile motion means? All of you observe what I said. This is what is our house. Okay, wow. So I'm making windows, everything. So imagine that. So this is our house. Now let me imagine from here if I throw the ball. See, if I drop here, this is what free fall. We all knows that. Falling vertically, same way like this. That is what falling under the gravity. We all know the free fall. Now projectile means we will throw like this. Understanding? A ball is like this. Now the ball is thrown like this. So definitely it will take a curved path and it will fall and come to the ground. Am I right or wrong? It will take this path and fall it on the ground. Am I right? Everybody clear?
Yes, sir. Yes,
All of you? So if the body is thrown like this, then the body will continuously moving in a particular path, curved path, and will be reaching to the ground. Like a curvilinear motion. Type of motion, do you remember a curvilinear motion? Everybody? Mr. Gokul Raj? No, nothing studying. Show the dedication, Mr. Gokul. Very, very serious. Mr. Darshan, understand? This is only ways to call. See, if you notice it here, there is no kind of velocity in the horizontal component. This is vertical and this is called as what? Vertical, and this is what we used to call as everybody. What we used to call? Yes, please. Horizontal. Okay. So there is no kind of horizontal component for the initial velocity. That is what we used to call projectile motion. No horizontal component for the initial velocity is only called as projectile motion. So if you take examples of projectile, please mute. Who is this girl? Some disturbance. So if you take examples of projectile, a mango falling from a tree is also an example of projectile. A ball projected vertically downwards. If you go to your terrace like this figure, that is also projectile. So in many cases, like if the initial velocity has, if you notice it, everybody, if there is no initial velocity, that is what we used to call as, sorry, in a horizontal component. Horizontal component means what? Keep it in mind. X-axis is the horizontal component and Y-axis is the what? Everybody. Y-axis is the vertical component. This is Y-axis. Y-axis is the vertical component and X-axis is the what component? Everybody. This is called as horizontal component. That is what you have to remember it. Now, if suppose, am I saying here there is no horizontal component, only vertical component. It is falling under only what, guys? Everybody? only vertical component. Understanding? Then we can say the examples. That is what is a mango falling from a tree. Only it has velocity in y direction. No velocity in what direction? Everybody. No velocity in x direction. Clear? So same way, a ball is projected vertically downwards. It has only one direction. What is the direction? A ball is only towards the what direction? Everywhere. Here you check it. Only y direction. Here also velocity y direction. Here also y direction. Here also y direction. Here also y direction. But what about the velocity in x direction? Horizontal component velocity is what? 0. Do you all understand, everybody? Please respond, Ra. That is what.
Yes, sir.
Now, some projectile motion which has both horizontal and vertical components. That is what the path of the body will not be a straight line. So that is only we used to called basically a projectiles or projectile motion, we will say it. For example, so let us consider now you are having one bench. Let me consider this is the bench. All of you observe. I am trying to draw a bench. Okay. Now you are a boy or a girl who is standing here. Now you throw a ball like this. You throw a ball like this. So how the ball will goes? The ball will goes like this and it will fall onto this place. Am I right or wrong, everybody? Please respond, all of you. Clear or not? Respond, Ra.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
yes, if you notice it, a ball is having both horizontal and vertical components. Its initial velocity is having both horizontal and vertical components. Then the path of the body will not be a straight line. Keep it in mind. In the first case, here, what we are studying, a mango is falling from a tree. It has only single direction. It has only single direction. So no horizontal velocity. Do you understand, everybody? So by that time, how the path will be a what line? The path will be a
Y-axis.
the path will be a what line?
Yes.
Straight line. Do you all understand, Amma? Everybody? Only it has what? It has only what component? Velocity in only
One direction.
one direction. Only what direction it is? Only vertically initial velocity is present. No horizontal velocity. So by the time how the path is taking, everybody see that. Suppose imagine this is the mango of a tree. So a mango of a tree. So mango is falling. How it will fall? Only it will falls in a straight line. Understanding? So horizontal velocity is what? 0. Now, if I projected the ball like this, so imagine this is the ground. The ball is projected like this. So what will happen, guys? Suppose your friend is standing here and another friend is standing here. You throw a ball. Are you throwing the ball straight line or the ball will goes like this and it will come like this? Everybody. Ball will rises. Yeah, ball will rises like this and it will come to your friend hand. Am I right or wrong, everybody? Please respond. Yes. So in this case, the body is having both the initial velocity in both x direction and as well as what direction? Both x direction as well as y direction, y component and as well as x component. So then the path of the body will not be a straight line. By the time the path we used to call mathematics, what is the path this is called as? Anybody can tell? What is the name of this path? Anyone?
Time of light.
No, this is mathematics. 9th class, anywhere you might be noticed like this. What is this path we used to call? Shape. This shape is something called as. Any one of you? This shape is called as parabola. What is to call, everybody? Parabola. What shape it is called as? Parabola. Remember in mind, if I take like this is called as parabola. If I take like this also, this is only parabola. Or I can draw like this. Shape of this one is called as parabola. So, if you consider initial velocities has both horizontal and vertical components, then the path of the body will not be a straight line. It will be a what path? Everybody, it will be a what path? Parabola path. Understanding? That parabola only we used to call it as trajectory. spelling Trajectory. What is to call? That path is only called as parabola. We used to call it as trajectory. So please write it. So if only initial velocity in y direction, vertical direction, the body will travel in what line? Everybody, the body will travel in straight line. If the initial velocity is having both directions, horizontal and vertical, then the body will travel in what direction? Everybody, what is the path?
Parabola.
Parabola. That is, you should understand. Do you all understand? Everybody, please respond, Ra.
Yes, sir.
Yes, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is what you have to remember it. Now, let us make many examples in our surroundings. We all people can notice it and we will make it also. So how many of you know billiard ball? Billiard ball theriyuma? Billiard balls. Yes. Billiard balls means a ball, somebody like with a long stick will poke the balls. Billiard ball theriyada? Nobody? Okay. I will show you the picture. Then you will understand. Billiard balls game, how many of you knows? Don't know? Hey, this is very popular game. Okay, I'll show you. Yeah. This game theriyadama. Movies and all you can see
Yes, sir.
correct. Billiard balls.
Yes, sir.
Don't know
Yes,
this?
sir.
Yeah. So you might be, for example, remember, let me take, this is the picture perfectly, it is matching. Okay, billiard game, I want to see. Anybody is making? There is no perfect, this is. Let me consider this, this diagram. All of you observe very carefully. This is the first example. Now you tell me, here, the velocity, whatever he is hitting, it has only velocity in horizontal direction or vertical direction? Anybody?
Vertical direction.
Vertical, yeah.
Horizontal
Ah,
direction.
super, Amma. Vertically. Billiard table, tell me. A billiard ball which is stuck on the billiard table will move horizontally or vertically? Everybody.
Horizontally.
Will move horizontally along the surface of the table. Do you all understand, everybody? Yes? All of you? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, what is the changes will take place here? The changes in the position and the velocity and the corresponding acceleration with always everything in only in a horizontal direction. Am I right or wrong? Because only a man can hit what? How, sir? Somebody is asking. Who is that girl? I want to know. Lakshana. So observe very carefully here. A man is, this is what? Vertical component, up. This is horizontal. The table is horizontal. This is the surface. This is the horizontal component. Vertical component means he has to hit like this. Do you all understand, everybody? All of you? So this is horizontal component. So whatever the changes is taking place here, the position of the ball is moving from here to here, or the velocity is changing, or the acceleration is changing, everything is taking place in what direction? Horizontal direction or vertical direction? Everybody.
Horizontal.
Clear? So now,
Yes, sir.
it will only taking place in the horizontal direction. Clear, everybody? Suppose, if its velocity is increasing, like forward direction, you have to take it as a positive. If it is taking place, for example, reverse direction, you can see, after hitting, the man will take the stick backward direction. Am I right or wrong, everybody? Yes or no? He will push
Yes,
the
sir.
stick so that the ball may goes back, and you can see, and he will hit this ball, and again it will start coming backward. So if it is moving forward, we will consider as a what? It is called as what? Positive. If it is moving backward, we will consider as a what? Everybody.
Negative.
Negative. So we all knows in physics, if velocity is increasing, we used to call acceleration positive or negative?
Positive.
Velocity is
Positive.
increasing, acceleration is positive. If velocity is decreasing, we used to call it as what?
Negative.
What is the name of that
Negative.
acceleration? Anybody? Velocity.
Retardation.
Yes. Retardation. Another word.
Deceleration. Deceleration.
Understand? Like that. So, if you notice it here, in this case, is there any influence of gravity? That is what my question. In this ball case, the ball is moving completely in horizontal position. In this case, is there any kind of influence of gravity? That is what my question.
No, sir.
No. Do you understand, everybody? So that is, you have to remember that. So in this case, the influence of gravity on the motion of the ball is completely absent. So when we consider like these cases, it is not, we not use called as a projectiles. Why we not called as a projectiles? Anybody can tell? All of you? What do you mean by projectile? I told you already. Either it needs to work under the what? Under the influence of
Gravity.
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 Either it is falling only in one direction or the velocity, initial velocity is acting two direction. Doesn't matter. It has to fall under the what? Everybody? It has to fall under the gravity. So
Gravity.
when we consider the motion, understanding, once they will move under the influence of gravity, such objects which are given horizontal velocity or vertical velocity, both, understanding, then they are allowed to travel under the influence of gravity, and they are called as, what is to call, everybody? They are called as projectiles or projectile motion. Now you all understand what do you mean by projectile motion? Projectile motion means work under only what? Everybody?
Gravity.
Work
Gravity.
under gravity. So now,
Gravity.
for example, how many of you know short put? Yeah, let me put again the Google only and we'll see that. Short put theriyuma? I will all know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
short put, they are creating a horizontal velocity, but it is working under the gravity or not? You should tell me. Short put. Yeah, short put, you tell me. Is it a projectile motion or not? A man is, a girl is, or anybody, everybody throwing the ball.
Under gravity.
Yeah, it is working under the gravity. Then is it considered as a, even though they are creating the velocity in horizontal, but still it is working under the what? Suppose this man is throwing the ball like this. The ball is throwing horizontally, but still it is working under the what?
Gravity.
Gravity.
Because it will form, you can see, a man throw the ball will take a curved path, that curved path, and it will fall down. Am I right or wrong, everybody?
Yes, sir.
That curved
Yes,
path
sir.
only what we used to call. The man is throwing the ball like this. It will go like this and it will fall like this somewhere. So what is that path we used to call? We shall choose
Parabola.
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 Parabola, or what we can call another name. Projectile.
Trajectory.
Sorry, trajectory.
Trajectory.
So suppose a man knows long jump. How many of you know long jump? Long jump theriyuma. Let me take long jump.
Sir.
Long jump is also a what? Projectile or not? You tell me. Long jump.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Long jump if you have taken, how the man can take? Let me consider this is. See
Yes,
that.
sir.
Are you
Under
getting the shape? Are you getting the shape or not? Verify it. I will rectify this. Okay. Here, have you noticed that the man is jumping? It is going, and you can see here how the body shape is making. So this is the final position. So now he is working under the gravity or not? Everybody.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Then-
Under gravity.
Yes, under gravity. So this is also example of what we used to say. Projectile.
Projectile
Understand all of you? So that is what you should remember. So in these cases, this long jump, or we can say short put, if you notice it, they move under the influence of gravity, but they are given horizontal velocity and they are allowed to travel under the influence of gravity. That is why they are called as what? Everybody, they are called as projectile. Clear? That is what you should remember that. So any projectile has two-dimensional motion. It is not one dimension. Till now, you all people studied only one dimension. Now, this projectile is an example of what? How many dimensions, everybody?
2 dimensions.
Two dimensions. That is why projectile motion we used to call as, what motion we used to say, everybody? Yes, please. 2D motion. Clear? So 2D motion means how many components? Horizontal component and as well as
Vertical.
vertical component. That is what you have to remember it. So every projectile motion is a what motion? Everybody, projectile motion is an example of which motion? 1D motion or 2D motion? 2D motion. Understanding? So it is a combination of motion in two different directions. Combination of motion in how many different directions? two different directions. Okay.
Two direction.
One is horizontal direction. Another one is what direction? Vertical
Direction.
direction.
Vertical
For
direction.
example, first, uniform velocity along the horizontal direction. If you notice it, there is no other forces are acting on the projectile along the horizontal. By the time the acceleration in horizontal direction is 0. So all of you, for example, imagine if a body is falling like this. You imagine this is what my building or tower. If a boy is standing here and he dropped the ball like this. So in this case, there is no forces are acting in x direction, horizontal direction. No forces are acting. Only everywhere the forces are acting only in what direction? Everybody. The forces are
Y
acting
direction.
in y direction. So in this case, no forces are acting in the horizontal direction. So that is why in x direction, what is the acceleration? Acceleration in x direction is always, everybody,
Zero.
zero. You didn't mind, everybody? So uniform velocity. If suppose uniform accelerated motion along the vertical, so always it is under the influence of what? Every time the uniform acceleration in y direction keep on increases. Acceleration in y direction keep on increases. Why? Because it is a what direction? It is working under the influence of what? Influence of
Gravity.
gravity. Yeah, that is what. So that is why we can say projectile motion, if you have taken, understanding? So x-axis, no forces are acting, so that acceleration is considered 0. But in y-axis, what will happen? Continuously, it will be influence of gravity. So that acceleration is keep on increases or decreases. Everybody, acceleration is keep on
Increases.
increases. That is why in y component we will say it is accelerated motion. Accelerated motion. And in x component, always the velocities remains what? Velocities remains. Velocity in x component, velocities remains what, guys? Constant. If velocity is constant, what about the acceleration? Physics already we studied in first chapter. No change in velocity, then acceleration is equals to 0. Remember, Amari? Everybody?
Yes, sir.
Graph. We have drawn the graphs. Suppose this is accelerated motion or acceleration or deacceleration motion. This is accelerated motion. If I draw parallel to the x-axis, then what is that here? Acceleration is equals to what? 0. If I draw downwards, that is deaccelerated motion. Do you all remember, everybody? Yes or no? Everyone?
Yes, sir.
Here, how you are saying acceleration is 0? Because velocities remains what? Velocities remains what? From here to here. V is constant. That is why acceleration is remains 0. Why? Acceleration means what? Rate of change of what?
Rate of change of velocity.
Rate of change
By
of
time
velocity.
taken.
That is why acceleration is 0. So in x component, uniform velocity means velocities remains constant or varies. Everybody. X component, uniform velocity. Velocities remains constant or varies. Everybody. Constant. So that the acceleration is 0 along the horizontal direction. And only it is uniform accelerated motion. In which direction? Only it is in y direction, vertical, because it is acting upon by influence of something. What is that, guys?
Gravity.
Gravity. That is what you have to remember. So the motion of the projectile can be represented graphically by plotting horizontal displacement along the x-axis and vertical displacement along the y-axis. Clear, everybody? So the motion of projectile, is actually, we will consider, suppose when I am falling under the, suppose I am falling from the building. Now you tell me, I am surrounding by something. Can you tell me what is that? My surrounding, I am surrounding by something. No, gravity is acting down direction. I know. I am living in a where we are living in a something that is called as where we are living. Air. So definitely we'll be having a air resistance. Am I right or wrong? Everybody, please respond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we're having a air resistance
Yes,
or not?
sir.
Everybody should involve.
Yes,
Sir, if a
sir.
doubt, Erica, you answer only, you response only, you will understand. You should tell me, sir, I am not understand this, you tell me. So when we are falling, definitely we're having air resistance. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So
Yes, sir.
projectile motion we will consider in the options of air resistance. Means air resistance we will take the neglect the air resistance. The motion of projectile is considered in the options of air resistance. That is what you have to remember it. Is it okay, everybody? Yes,
Yes, sir.
that is what. So similarly, if you take, suppose the path of a ball hit very high by a batsman, how it will be shown? Can you tell me? The ball is hit by a batsman. Then how you people will show? This is the X component and this is the Y component. Suppose here is the batsman. Now bowler throw the ball.
Very large.
Yeah, very large with some angle. Am I right or wrong? Everybody,
Yes, sir.
like this it will go.
Parabola.
Yes. So here with a theta angle, it will rises and it will goes maximum height and then again it will come down. Am I right, everybody? Yes,
Yes,
or
sir.
no? So that is how we will represent the displacement, vertical displacement and as well as horizontal displacement shown by the ball which is hit by the batsman. So how we can throw? If you take the vertical and horizontal, the ball is hit by the batsman with the theta angle, it will goes to the maximum height and again it will be coming back. So here two displacements are there. This what displacement? Ball is here and it reaches to here. What displacement it is? Horizontal or vertical displacement?
Horizontal.
Is horizontal respond displacement.
Horizontal.
Understanding? And what about this one? Maximum height.
Vertical.
This is what displacement we used to say? We used to call it as
Vertical.
vertical displacement. Okay, vertical displacement. That is what you have to remember. Now, a mango is falling from the tree under the influence of gravity. How you people can represent the graph? Can you tell me? A mango is falling under the gravity. I want to know. It has only one force. What is that force?
Vertical displacement. Vertical.
Yes. Yeah, it has only vertical direction. So how to represent? When the body is coming, acceleration is keep on increases. And finally it will fall to the ground. Now what about the horizontal component? In this case, body is only falling under the gravitation. So that by that time we all know that no force is acting. So that uniform horizontal motion. Understanding, everybody? This is what? Uniform horizontal motion. So means acceleration is what?
Zero.
Uniform horizontal motion. Acceleration is equals to what? Everybody?
Zero.
Yeah. So this is only the example for free fall under the what? Free fall under the what?
Gravity.
Under
Gravity.
So by that time, we will consider what Agalya I told you. You should not consider options of what?
Absence of
Options of
air resistance.
air resistance. Clear, everybody? So projectile motion is an example for what? One-dimensional, two-dimensional motion.
Two-dimensional.
Example for two-dimensional motion. Now, billiard ball is it considered as a projectile motion? Everybody?
No.
No. So you have to remember projectile motion has two-dimensional motion. Is a combination of motion in two different directions. What is the two different directions? One is horizontal direction. Another one is
Vertical.
vertical direction. And horizontal direction, no other forces are acting. That is why we'll consider horizontal direction. What we'll consider? Acceleration is uniform velocity. So acceleration is considered as a what? Everybody?
Zero.
Acceleration is considered as zero. And y direction, which is acting upon the gravity, so that it is considered as a what? Uniform accelerated motion. Very, very important. Okay, so please understand that. Till here, anyone having any doubt, please ask me. Mr. Kishore, understand?
No, sir.
What is projectile motion? Sanjay, Alvin, no response at all. So this is only we used to called as projectile motion. So if you notice it, free fall under the gravity, So, and as well as if the batsman will hit the ball, or else a man will hit. If you take, for example, as I take shot put. Shot put is a what? Projectile or not? Everybody. Shot put is a
Projectile.
projectile or not? Everyone respond, guys.
Projectile.
Yeah, projectile motion. So let us consider the example. If you notice it, consider a shot put given an initial velocity making with angle. So let me draw properly. Shot put is an example. All of you observe. Shot put. So we all knows that shot put, a man is standing here. He will throw the ball like this and it will come and it will fall like this. Am I right or wrong, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So consider that only in the graph. I will draw the graph and I will show you. So he has been thrown with a certain initial velocity and with the angle also. So I am drawing x-axis and y-axis. This is what my x-axis and y-axis. Everybody, please remember this. What is this actually? X-axis and y-axis. Now, a shot put given an initial velocity making an angle theta with the horizontal. Okay, everybody. So a man is thrown with the initial velocity, something u. Let me consider u. Okay, and it is making angle with the what? Angle how much, Amma? How much angle it is making, Mari? It is making the angle theta with the horizontal surface. Please remember, it is making horizontal surface, theta angle with the horizontal surface. Then, if you notice the displacement along the x-axis, that is what? Horizontal, and the y-axis vertical. On a graph, if you represent, that the graph will be like this. It will keep on going. It will attain the maximum height, and again finally it will reach us to here. Then what is the horizontal displacement? This is what we used to call as horizontal displacement. Am I right or wrong? All of you?
Yes, sir.
All of you, yes or no? Horizontal displacement is this one. So next, vertical displacement, tell me. Vertical displacement is constant or keep on changes? Vertical displacement keep on changes. So here if you consider, this is the height. Here if you consider, this is the height. So at certain level, it will attain the maximum height, and then further it will be keep on decreases. So this is the maximum height attained by the body. That is what vertical displacement in this shown by the shot put. So that is how it will be represented. Yeah, football also. Abhiram is saying, sir, a football player kicking the ball. Of course, a ball kicked by the football player, the ball will goes, keep on rising, keep on falling, and it will be reaches to here. So in this case also same thing. I will draw x-axis and y-axis. This is x-axis, horizontal displacement. Let me take HS, horizontal displacement, or else we can say SH. SH means horizontal displacement. And this one, what is to say? Maximum height. This is what we used to consider as, everybody, vertical displacement. Yes, sir. Clear? So that is how we can say cricket everywhere. Do you understand, Lakshanya, Agalya, Shivani?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that
Yes,
is
sir.
what you have to remember. So this kind of motion only we used to call as what? What we used to say? The
Project
graph
motion.
obtained is only called as the graph which is obtaining in this shot put, football, cricket ball, everything. The curve is called as, what is the curve name? Everyone,
Projectile.
we used to call it as curve name. We used to call it as parabola. And parabola, what is that called as? The trajectory of a projectile, the path. The entire path we used to call it as trajectory. Whatever the path is taken by the body here, the path is called as trajectory. So the trajectory of a path is only called as what? Trajectory of a projectile. Yeah, trajectory of a projectile is called as what, everybody? Is called
Parabola.
okay. That is what.
Parabola.
Anybody having any doubt, you can ask. Clear, guys?
Sir, scroll up.
Ma?
Sir, can scroll up.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, understand? Now, one important thing I will say you. Now, observe very carefully. Now, for example, let me consider Mr. Gokul Raj is here. X-axis and y-axis. He has thrown the ball with some initial velocity u, with the theta with the horizontal axis. Okay, and this ball will goes and it will come and it will fall here. Do you all understand, everybody? Please respond. All of you? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So a ball is thrown by Mr. Gokul Raj with initial velocity u and making theta angle with the surface. Then this is the initial point of the ball and this is the final point of the ball. Then the displacement shown by here from the initial position and final position,
Horizontal.
only horizontal displacement we used to called as, that is only we used to say in physics, we used to called as range, called as horizontal range. What we used to call, everybody?
Horizontal.
Called as horizontal. Clear? What we used to say that one? The maximum distance covered by a projectile